Josh Knutson. I'm the head esports coach at the University of Jamestown.
Head esports, so we better make sure people understand. It's 2 words, head, and then esports is another word. So let's start off by just definition of what esports is, because a lot of people don't know what that is these days.
So esports essentially is the highest level of competitive video game. So we play a variety of different games at the collegiate level, and esports in general is just competitive video gaming.
So this is kind of a dumb question, I understand, but NDSU, for example, North Dakota State, used to have a club hockey team. I think soccer was club for a while. Are you guys sanctioned by the university? Are you club? Are you in that purgatory area that some of the club sports are?
Yeah, we function as a club team at the University of Jamestown, but we're governed by the National Association of Collegiate Esports. So we're kind of in the middle, where the abbreviation for that is NACE. So we function as a varsity sport under NACE at the club level at the University of Jamestown, treated like a varsity sport.
National Esports. Okay, do you guys have divisions? So, like, are you in a Great Heartland or Upper America division or something?
So right now, the National Association of Collegiate Esports, it's just one big group of schools right now. The divisions and conference alignment is coming hopefully in this next year. There's 71 other schools across the country, so we've played Boise State University all the way down to Indiana Tech and Georgia Southern. It's a great group of like-minded universities that want to legitimize esports, and it's been a great thing to be a part of that.
How's that going, legitimizing esports? I'm a parent. I've got a now 12-year-old. Gaming is one of those things that I have a hard time with because, the screen time, this and that. Well, then I started seeing some of the social aspects, and so I've come around is what I'm getting at. But at the same time, there's still the old, that parenting will never go away with the screen time. Okay, now we're introducing colleges. Las Vegas just opened up an esports arena on the Strip last month. This is legit. So just talk to me about the evolution of the gaming and the whole parental thing and all that.
Yeah, so there's a stigma with gaming, and part of the reason why we have a team is to kind of break that stigma and break those barriers. We want at Jamestown to make esports just like football, basketball, or any of the other sports. We want it to be legitimate, and we want it to be done right. As far as like parenting and being concerned about how much your child is playing, we look at the benefits of building communication skills. Teamwork is huge. The interpersonal relationships that you form with your team, we're finding that the benefits highly outweigh any concerns. And a lot of times parents have some pretty good buy-in. It's something to say that when you have a parent and you actually show them what we're all about, it's one thing to say, yeah, we have a gaming team, an esports team, but it's another thing to actually bring them to campus, show them what a practice looks like. Because we're just like basketball and football and everything else. We have practice 5 days a week from 6 to 8 p.m. We're doing film reviews and game planning and all those things. So it's one thing to just say that, hey, we have an esports team, but it's a totally different environment when you actually get down and actually look at it to what it actually is.
I was going to ask you about the practices and the strategy. Of course, my favorite South Park episode is the World of Warcraft, Make Love Not Warcraft.
It's a classic.
Go in the forest and kill boars until you get... So, in fact, my buddies and I, whatever, we have to, go back to the mail room or go back, start over. All right, let's go kill some boars in the forest. What is your practice like?
So, to give you an idea of what we do for practice, I'll use the Overwatch team as an example because it's really well built out. We had games on Monday nights against the other schools in our association. Tuesday would be a film review, so we record all of our games and we stream all our games. So we'll go back and watch the film from the night before and kind of take a look at what worked right, what went wrong, and kind of talk about how we can fix those issues and build off of the successes. On Wednesday nights, we'll get in at 6 o'clock, and the guys will do individual practice, work on their individual skills. Thursday, we actually take a day off during the week just to have a study table. So they come down to practice and they work on homework. And then on Fridays, we do game prep for our next game on Monday. We'll take a look at the other school. We'll scout them, actually see what they've run in the past and kind of form an idea and a strategy and a game plan to how we can beat that. So it's a lot of mental prep beforehand and conditioning guys so that when they get into those circumstances, they're ready to respond quickly and effectively.
How do you prep? You're a coach. How did you become the coach, first of all?
Yeah.
And what type of preparation do you have to do?
Sure. Well, the story of how I became the coach is kind of, the story of how we started our program. We were invited to NACE's summit back in the summer of 2016, and we sent a representative from our admissions team down there to be able to just see what this association was going to turn out to be. He came back and said, this is something that we should jump on. And the administration saw it as a way to recruit more students that we might not get otherwise. So they were looking for people who wanted to be involved. And being a younger employee at the university, I was kind of like the natural, like, oh, hey, you know what video games are. Do you want to do this? And I said, heck yes. And actually our IT director is the other staff person that works with me to help run the program. He's our technical director and handles all of the more technical aspects of just running machines and stuff like that. And for me, my prep during the week, it varies depending on which game and which season we're in. So Overwatch was in the fall, League of Legends was in the wintertime, and then Hearthstone just wrapped up a couple weeks ago here in the spring. So a lot of my prep during the week is I'll watch a lot of film. And I go and I try and find Twitch streams of the other schools that we're playing and be able to watch and see how they did things when they're playing in game. And then kind of we'll pull up a scouting report. We actually build one every week, depending on if it's looking at the profiles of the other school, their players, seeing what heroes they play, kind of their tendencies, what decks they had for Hearthstone, kind of building the patterns and just kind of being able to prepare for it. Well, we think they're going to do this, so let's build a game plan for us that kind of will work against it.
Do you guys travel, or is this all over the internet?
So right now, our entire regular season is it's online against the other schools. We'd have to have a pretty massive travel budget to be able to go to Boise one week and then the next week go down to Florida.
Take that, volleyball.
Yeah, everything is online right now, and then they have postseason tournaments that happen at sites. So you put a bid in, and then you can host the national championship, or like for Hearthstone, the national finals are at Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. So the schools that qualify for that get to travel there. And this is actually the first LAN event that we've went to this year. It's really nice to see someplace in North Dakota actually stepping up and getting a tournament like this organized and having something local that we can travel to.
Land event. That's lingo because the way it just flew off of your tongue.
Yeah, it's LAN. It's LAN.
Oh.
And it's just internet speak. So
local area network.
Yep.
I interviewed the guy who invented that, Rob Ryan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's living in Kalispell, Montana now, but he actually invented the internet for real. Sure. I thought you meant land, actual physical land, not the internet crazy world.
Ironic for sure, but yeah, absolutely.
So okay, where's this going? Two-part question. Mm-hmm. Where's the industry going? I think I do know where it's going, but do you actually see Olympics, X Games, that type? Are we talking to that level in the next 5 to 10 years? And where are you guys going in terms of scholarships? Are we going to see the NIAI end up having an esports division, the Missouri Valley Football Conference, going to have a Missouri Valley Overland Conference?
Right, yeah. So as far as just the growth in the industry, it's huge. At the beginning of the fall, there were 20 schools a part of this national association. It's up to 70 right now, and it'll be at 120 by August. So just the growth at the collegiate level is massive. There's been a kind of a high school level divisions and different leagues trying to get that stabilized and under one roof, and that's coming along. And you look at the professional level. Blizzard is sinking millions of dollars into the Overwatch League. There's paid professionals that play for franchise teams and make $50,000 a year for players. So I think the growth of the industry in 5 years, every school in the country is going to have something, whether it's a club team or a varsity level program like we do. It's just going to keep going. I think the great equalizer is that anybody can be a gamer. You don't have to be 6'4" to be able to play video games. You can, as long as you have an interest and a passion and want to play, there's a home for you at some level in esports, and that's kind of the greatest asset that it has for it. And also you look at the advertising and the marketing and all of the other things associated to it. The industry itself is growing and making lots of money, and that's giving opportunities to other developers to make new games and different pro teams to start, and also at the high school and collegiate level for programs to start. And for us, we're really blessed to be able to call ourselves one of the first varsity programs, and I think it only goes up from here. We're already offering scholarships to all of our players that come to University of Jamestown, and that will continue to grow and be able to expand our roster, and hopefully just keep plugging away with the other schools and try and be a leader and a role model for other schools that want to add varsity programs.
Anytime you got competition, whether it's football, baseball, swimming, poker, there's addictions. Gaming, it's been coming to our light about there might be some of the, whether it be the light addiction or the whatever it might be, and like I said, it's true in football and every other sport. Are you guys having these conversations at all at this point yet? Is this still too new of a organized sport? You as a coach, this is not your responsibility at the end of the day, but you are the eyes and the ears to be the first response, so to speak, to be like, Jimmy hasn't left his chair for 14 straight hours.
Yeah, we're in a unique situation to where, like our student athletes, they have class to go to. Mm-hmm. We take a day off during the week. Our Thursday practice, they come and they actually just do homework at practice. They don't turn on a machine at all. So we have a study table that breaks up the week and kind of helps, everything is good in moderation. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, football players, there's risk of physical injury. For esports athletes, it's the same thing. You're worried about eye strain and carpal tunnel and stuff like that. And it's just important to remember that, you don't have to sit at your chair for like 14 hours straight. It's, we do stress that it's important to take care of your body in all aspects, and esports practice is a great way to help pay for school, help get an education, and thrive in a competitive environment. But we definitely make sure that we're taking care of our bodies and making sure that things don't go too far.
I love it. I think it's great, and I love the fact that at least there's some prevention talk going on, because it took a long time for the NFL to realize, maybe we should have helmets. It's just the evolution of just anything new. Yeah. To have any sort of preventative discussions is positive. So I'm glad that you guys are at least doing that. What do you want people to know? And just kind of final thoughts, whether it's from your profession, whether it's from your industry, whether it's the direction of it. Just what do you want people to leave this interview about esports and that sort of thing?
I think one of the big things that we're trying to work on is, when you think of a gamer and somebody that plays video games, kind of for a living, depending on your circumstances, there's this stigma about what a gamer is. It's the guy sitting in his basement covered in Cheeto dust, playing, a game for 24 hours straight. And, if you take a look at our collegiate team, it's vastly, all the way across the spectrum. We've got guys that are multi-sport athletes on the track team, the hockey team, the football team that are playing for us, guys that you would not think are gamers. And we're just trying to break the stigma that, an e-sport athlete is an actual athlete. just because we don't have a ball or play on a court doesn't mean that they're not working hard and they're not putting in as much dedication as any other traditional athlete. And I think we're just trying to legitimize esports and bring it to everybody's mind when they think of traditional sports. And if anything, it just shows that esports is a unifying thing and that everybody can be a part of it. And I just hope that people understand that, these guys are working as hard as they are, and it's not the traditional gamer stereotype, and we're trying to break that. So
thank you, sir.
Thank you.